Right, here we go. Going to talk about CB radio. Look at that. President Ronald, 10 and 12 metre radio for amateur use, but it covers, was it 25, 615? No, lower than that, 24 something to over 30 megs. Talk about that in a minute. This video came about because a friend of mine said to me, what CB rig can I get? I want to get a decent rig and I want to be legal. He's been offered one like this. They're similar to that, not that one. That's the Enitone AT5555. So he's been offered one like that. And it's got 6 bands, A to F. Now that one basically is A to F. It's 25615 to 26065. B, 26065 to 26515. So it goes on C, D, E. You get to F, which is 27865 to 28315. Well, 28315 is in the 10 metre amateur band. So it's all people can't understand what's going on. Originally in the UK, we were illegal AM on, I believe, on the American and EU channels, okay? Then, was it Ofcom, the licensing authority people? They said, I'll tell you what, have 40 UK channels, all right? Then, you know where you are then, 40 UK channels. Right, all this, bands A, B, C, D, E, F, all 6 bands. Oh no, we didn't get any of those. We had some unique thing, which I've got here somewhere, something unique to the UK, or perhaps I should say peculiar to the UK. Right, 2760125 to 2799125. Not at all in line with the rest of the world. Crazy situation. Presumably the idea that our licensing authorities, who is it, Ofcom, the idea must have been to keep us away. They didn't want us talking to Europe. They didn't want us talking to America and South America and all around the world. I don't know quite why, some idiot behind a desk, well, I know what we'll do. Let's have 40 really odd channels that no one else in the world has got. So you had to have one of these special radios manufactured purely for the UK. And they had to be type approved, little badge on the front. What was it, 2781? 27 megs, 1981. The AM people had all their rigs. They thought, well, we're not doing that. They were all up in arms. This is balmy. We're not doing that. We'll just stick with AM on our channels and forget all this new nonsense. Of course, what happened was with the FM ones, the legal 40 UK, you could buy them anywhere. Buy them in Woolworths, go downtown and buy one. So the kids had them. All sorts of people had them. And there's people on there playing music. There's kids after school getting on the CB, chatting to each other. Any, what should I call them, serious CBers, well, they couldn't go on there. It was just jam-packed with people. Music, swearing going on. What do they call them? Bucket mouths. They call those 40 channels the Muppet channels because they're full of Muppets. And not my word, I mean, that's just what's got round. So it was pretty useless for any serious CBer. So they stuck to their AM illegal 40 channels. Then Ofcom said, oh, I'll tell you what, have an extra 40, so you've got 80 channels. You can have the EU channels, which is also America. And you can have, well, I think that was just FM. Not too sure on that one. So we've now got 80 FM channels. And it's all getting more and more confusing for everyone. Then, was it 2014, I think Ofcom said, oh, I'll tell you what, have AM and sideband as well as FM. Maximum 4 watts AM, FM, 12 watts, I think, sideband. So at last we had sort of some, well, the UK channels are useless, even though you might use sideband or AM because they're unique to us in the entire world. But the EU channels, that's good. People can actually communicate with people abroad, which is what the serious CBers wanted. I think the term CB, it conjures up the wrong image. You mentioned CBer to someone, oh, CB, well, that's dead, isn't it? It was only full of kids anyway, wasn't it? People used to play music and swear. That's all it is. It's not. It was originally, but now it's opened up. We've got some serious communicators or whatever, they're freeband. Now this is another thing. So you buy one of these rigs, you know, the Enitone I just showed you, that one, look. You buy that and you can't use that. Even on legal stuff, you can't use it. It's not type approved. That's the Enitone 80555. Now you buy that, you can't use it. It's illegal to use that in the UK. It's not type approved. You can't use amateur radio gear. Look at this. There's one, I've got two of these, one of my Kenwood TS570D HF transceivers. That will transmit anywhere between 1.7 and 30 megs. And it'll receive anywhere between, I think, 30 kcs and kilohertz and 30 megs. Can't use that. You're not allowed to use that. You mustn't use any modified equipment. And people are saying, well, yeah, what can I use? There are radios specifically designed for the UK on sale, but they're all limited in what they do and they cost a fortune, well, in comparison anyway. So the whole world are on all these channels, A, B, C, D, E, F, and I have to say, it starts at 25.615 megs. I've heard people on 24 megs. You tune down there, there's people there having a chat. What are they using? Not this sort of thing, not the Enitone one. They're using amateur radio gear, like this one I just showed you. They're using that. There's 100 watts there. It's meant to be 4 watts maximum. There's 100. I have read various places on the internet, I don't know how true this is, so don't quote me on it, the authorities turned a blind eye to it all. 27 megs, 26, I'll get on with it. We can't police it. It's totally out of hand. It's anarchy. We can't police it. Just carry on. Do what you like. I think if you said to Ofcom, if you phoned them and said, is that right? You don't care what we do on 11 metres, they'd say, oh no, we'll come bust you. We'll bust your ass. That's what they'd say. So it is confusing. Anyone that wants to get on to CB, as I say, the term CB is a shame. It's a shame there's not some other term to describe people. I've been listening, well, I'll show you in a minute. I've got a couple of little video clips of what I've heard. American stations, things like that. Then we come to aerials. I'm not sure of the rules and regulations there, but initially you only had to use certain aerials. You couldn't have a huge thing on the top of your house. You have to have certain aerials. It's typical of the UK. Whatever we do in the UK, it's complicated. It's a mess. It's never basic and straightforward. It's always a mess. So what's happened is people now, all around the world, as I said, anarchy rules. They do what they like. Use what gear they like, what power they like, on what frequency they like, and what mode they like. They just do what they want. It's worldwide now. It is so big. You have a tune around anywhere between 25 and 28 megs where the amateur band starts. It's just jam-packed. Of course, at the moment, we're heading for the sunspot maximum, the sunspot cycle thing. I think that's predicted in 2025. So we're heading for that. The bands are alive. I've worked on 10 metres recently, the amateur band. I've worked Israel and Bahrain, just with a few watts. You go straight back to them and they're there. Everyone's hearing each other. It's fantastic. And it's only going to get better over the next couple of years. This is why people are saying to me, oh, where can I get a CB rig? What rig do I need? What aerial do I need? Well, it's confusing. I try and help them best I can. I'm not advocating breaking the law. I'm not saying, well, the best thing you can do is get one of these rigs that cover everything and fire it up and run 100 watts. I'm not saying do that, although you probably will. So another thing, 27555, you heard of that? 27555. That is the worldwide SSB calling frequency, upper sideband. Again, this is where it's all gone wrong. The EU frequencies, the 40 channels, the last one, 40, is 27405. The UK channel 1 starts at 2760125. So you've got 274, 276. There's a gap. 27555 is in the middle of that gap. So EU 40, UK 40, we can use them all. And this bit in the middle here anything goes, no man's land, do what you like. Well, no, it's illegal, but you know what I mean. In the old days, see, with the advent of amateur radio gear, modern gear, the whole thing has changed. In the old days, you get an amateur radio HF transceiver. It only covered the amateur bands. You couldn't get it on CB, not without heavily modifying it. These days, as I showed you my Kenwood gear, you could just buy one of those, which has been opened up, wide-banded, you go where you like. You can transmit all over the place to each other, have a chat wherever you like. And of course, that's why it's all out of hand. I'm glad I'm not in charge of the licensing authority. I don't know, I'd just say to everyone, get on with it, I don't know. So what else have I got written here? Yeah, that's it. Have a look at this little video clip. The conditions weren't good because it was the wrong time of day. I was too early. I was too keen and I wanted to make the video clip. But here we are, there's a couple of people having a chat. One's in, where is he? Bulgaria, I think it is, and the other chap's in North Carolina, USA. Have a listen to the clip.
E111 Alpha Tango 11-1, East sending her up, waving the hand. Mucho bueno, mi amigo, mucho bueno. Yeah, Custodian, plus send to be here at 178 Alpha Tango 11-1, Andy from Bulgaria, waving the hand. Hello, Andy. Hello, Andy. This is Bavarian. Do you copy North Carolina? North Carolina, over. Yeah, Custodian, North Carolina. Yeah, plus send to be here. 178 Alpha Tango 111 Andy. Waving down, Custodian. Just 178. This is KT. Kilo Tango. North Carolina. Beautiful signal. Very nice audio, too, my friend. Yeah, Custodian. What is your name here? The name is Andy, Custodian. My name is KT, with KT, Kilo Tango, that's my initials, KT, Roger. Yeah, Kisso, KT, beautiful signal here, 5 and 7, 5 and 9, Kisso. If you're still, you're 5 and 9 into North Carolina. Good luck to you, my friend, 7-3, take care, from North Carolina, USA, KT, bye-bye. 7-3, enjoy the weekend, enjoy the DX, 178AT, 111 Andy from Bulgaria.
Bit of interference there. I don't know what that is. It just appeared. It would do, wouldn't it, when I wanted to make the video. And as I say, wrong time of day. Later on in the afternoon, they were booming in from America. I was chatting to a chap on band D, right? I've had to write all this down. You can't ever remember it all. I think someone ought to write a book and put all this together. Band D, okay, which is EU and what we used to call mids. Now there's another thing. There's high and super high. Then there's mids. There's low, super low, and super low. All these different bands. And again, people say, well, what's super low? I don't know. It's all crazy. So I was on band D, which is mids, on channel 19, which we're allowed on because it's the UK stuff, and I was on AM, and I think that's allowed. And I had a chat with a bloke down the road. We're chatting away on channel 19, mids, EU, AM. And it was great having a chat with him. It was really nice. Now, seeing as band D is also the American band, okay, they're 40 channels, they seem to be on AM or lower side band. Mind you, these days I've noticed that people don't stick to channels at all. Radios like the Kenwood with a VFO, you just tune around, go where you like, forget the channels. I found a clear spot there, I'll transmit there, you know, why not? No one else is there. People talk, oh, that's the CB going now. 11 meters we'll call it, not CB. So, okay, here's another clip. This is just showing you around the room a little bit of the gear I've got, just out of interest. So this is the equipment I use. This is the Enitone AT5555, which I've got on, what's that, Americans at the moment. That's quite a nice piece of kit. Here I've got a couple of Kenwood HF transceivers, TS570D. These cover, is it actually on? Yeah. These cover basically transmit and receive, well, receive I think 30 kilohertz up to 30 megs. Transmit is at 1.7 megs to 30 megs. They've been wide banded, so they're open up fully. And I've got a few things in the memory here. Look, some of the CB stuff, plus up here some of the amateur stuff, 29600, that's FM calling, then repeaters here. I haven't got the aerial connected at the moment, that's why it's a bit quiet. So there's a couple of those rigs there. There's the ICOM 7300, that one, which is I use basically just for amateur radio, ham radio stuff. There's some more bits and pieces there. Power supply, 4 meters, 2 meters, 70 marine, and some more there. What's that? That's 2 meters. That's on our local repeater. That is 4 meters. That's on 446. But back to CB. This Anytone is a lovely piece of kit. It covers, well, you can see it on the website, I've written all about it. Covers a load of stuff, basically 25 something to 30 megs, I think, or 29 something megs. All mode, of course, so really nice piece of kit. Talking of the 446 rig, we've got PMR 446 license free thing in this country, 446 megs, and I think it's meant to be half a watt, things something like that, half a watt. What people are doing, they're getting these Bofang things from China. I think this was £18. I mean, you know, it's cost nothing, 18 quid. And it's kind of 2 meters right the way through to 70 centimeters. Covers 446. I've got this one on 446. Illegal. It's 4 or 5 watts. Not allowed to use that on 446. What are people doing? They're using the Chinese, the one I just showed you, for 446. What are they? 25 watts, something like that. And they've got big aerials on the roof. It's kind of anarchy. I don't know how anyone would ever police it. Anyway, here's the Kenwood with another clip. I think there's some American on this one. Have a listen.
Just wait a quick EMT. CQ, Ohio, 711. Standing by, good morning. CQ. C3, but I'm sorry, I couldn't pull out your number there. Hello, CQ. This is Ohio, 711. Good morning, CQ. Good morning from Ohio, 711. Waving a hand up there. And sounding good down here. And station over in the UK, and I think another one in Germany coming back, but I didn't get numbers. Below. Yeah, we're supposed to get another 15. CQ, Cleveland, Ohio, 711. Standing by. Good morning.
At some stage I'll make another video at the right time of day when they're booming in. It's a bit weak and I've got some local interference. I don't know what that was. But the President Ronald here covers, as I say, 12, there's a picture of it close up so you can have a better look, 10 to 12 metres and everything in between. AM and FM only, no sideband on that one. But I used to have this in the car on 10 metres and 12 metres. That was quite good. I think it's 35 watts. So not a bad little rig. Quite nicely made, actually. I'm pleased with that one. Not in use at the moment, but it will be soon. I think that's about it. Nothing much else to say. I haven't bored you too much. I just wanted to give newcomers to 11 metres, not C, but 11 metres, an idea of what it's all about. All these different bands and different channels and frequencies in different parts of the world. You know, it's a minefield. You know where you're going, what you're doing. So I hope that's given you a bit of an idea. Oh, by the way, I nearly forgot. I mentioned the website. I'll put a link to the website page all about CB on YouTube, just down there below the picture. Have a look at that. There's more information on there. There's the various bands and stuff like that all listed out. You can print them out if you want. Right, that'll do. Bored you enough. Take care. See you next time. Bye bye for now.